But I will say this, the minute the lawyer got involved, things got ugly. And essentially that's what it is. They file documentation, they make accusations, and it's totally bizarre when you go into court. And in my particular case, things, allegations, statements were made up. We're taking an essence of truth and creating a great big kerfuffle over it, a great big exaggeration, issues that had nothing to do with child support or child custody or child access or what's in the best interest of the child. This was simply a matter of smearing me, smearing my reputation, my business activities, my personal activities. Lies were said that I was sleeping with some other woman while I was with the mother, which was absolutely untrue. All kinds of unfounded allegations. The biggest issue, in addition to all of this, is that not one shred of evidence, not one eyewitness testimony, not one document of any form was ever provided. It was simply her word. She had the motivation, of course, to slander me and to generate lies because the stakes were pretty high. She had financial compensation that she was expecting to receive, and she had custody which she was expecting to receive, of which she got all of it, because there was no need for evidence. This is not like a criminal court system in the family law system. The Constitution doesn't apply, and from what I could see, the laws don't even apply. It is a real sham. Have no doubt about it. If you're going into family court, and I'm talking to you from the province of Ontario, and I see in other jurisdictions across Canada, other jurisdictions across the United States, and even in Great Britain, in many English-speaking countries, it's all over the internet. We're well aware of what's going on. Speak to members of your family, male members of your family, who've been through this experience, and they will tell you, I mean, they just roll their eyes in frustration and aggravation, and they don't know where to begin because the lies are so extensive. It's like your entire life is put on trial. What I have advocated is that we have a system that recognizes equality right from the beginning. Chattels, furniture, property and possession upon divorce is automatically equal. What makes a father less of a father simply because he doesn't get along with the mother? What has he done? What crime has he committed? Nothing. In any other circumstance in this society, you must commit a crime to end up in front of a judge, or at least be accused of a crime in order to end up in front of a judge. In this situation, there's no crime that's committed. You don't get along with the mother, and vice versa. That's obvious. So think about that. Now, take away the need for evidence. Take away constitutional rights for equality. Put in a third-party interloper in the form of a lawyer who's making thousands and thousands of dollars off of this at the rate of hundreds of dollars per hour. Who is truly the guilty party in creating this acrimony? It's the lawyers. It's the legal establishment. I often think that it's very, very sad. You hear these things on the news about some man who's killed his wife and children, that type of thing. It's absolutely horrible when you hear these types of stories. But I can understand. I don't justify it, and I don't defend their actions, but I can understand that this is part of the carnage of the multi-billion-dollar legal industry. This industry must be stopped. It must be stopped in favor of equal rights being recognized. And if there are any kind of criminal accusations, such as spousal abuse, etc., then deal with that in the criminal courts where it belongs, where evidence will be required, where you can't just make an accusation against someone and it sticks as though it's true. It's a system of fraud that we have here. It's a system that is criminal in its nature. It may not be criminal in the law, but in fact, I have my suspicions that it very well may be as well. In light of the fact that the judge has ruled in my case that the Constitution doesn't apply, that the equal provisions of the family law legislation do not apply, I just think that it's a kangaroo court system that has its intents on fleecing families of their properties in a time of difficulty. You know, we talk about deadbeat fathers and that type of thing. Well, you know, how many cases do you often hear in the newspapers or other circumstance about parents who've spent thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars? That's the kind of money we're talking about here. And these are just singular cases where we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who's this money going to? This money is going to the lawyers. That's who it's going to. Have no doubt as to who are the beneficiaries of this system. The people who are responsible for our justice system are benefiting from it and have made an industry out of it. And that's the bottom line when you're talking about this kind of thing. It is the greatest human rights violation of our times. I would say that it is very comparable to the kind of things that have happened in the past, racial discrimination and slavery, many other circumstances. The establishment, these are the perpetrators. And it's time for a change. Because everyone out there watching this video has a father, or an uncle, or a cousin, or a friend who has been affected by this if you're in any Western country. I've never had issue with equal rights for women. In fact, I was a full participant. For 4 years, I stayed home and raised my daughter. I stayed home, I did the diapers, I made the suppers, I did the laundry, you name it, I did it. I did it while also running a part-time business. And yet for all of that, and even when it was cited in court, it added up to nothing. Neither that, nor the Charter of Rights, nor the laws of this country added up to anything. So what do you think your chances are if you have a breakup and you have a child? I can assure you, your case will not be anywhere near as strong as mine unless you did stay at home with your child as well. So, if you want to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and waste it on lawyers, go right ahead. It's your money. But I'll tell you right now, the system's corrupt, and you're not going to get anywhere with it. So just waste your time. Talk to the lawyer and realize that for every word that you say to him, he's a benefactor. Every time you talk for an hour, expect to pay a few $100s in his billings. I have no animosity against my ex. I have animosity against the system that gave her a gun to shoot me with. I have animosity towards judges that are so corrupt as to not see it. In my case, the judge was a woman, and I did believe that he was more than likely a feminist, and I did think that I would get some justice and equality, that she would see the other side of the coin of the equality equation, that she would see that this type of situation is in keeping with the intentions and desires of feminism for equality between the genders. In fact, I had a lot of expectations from her, and she let me down on everything, on every count, in every way. Not only that, to add insult to injury, here's a real kicker for you. After the entire case was resolved, I was given the bill, and an order was placed for me to pay my ex's legal bills on top of it all. Think about that. How did that come about? The judge ruled that I shouldn't have fought so hard for custody. That's the nature of the system you're dealing with here. A system of total corruption.